All right, Sagittarius. Who have you been helping? Or who are you helping? Who are you extending yourself to where it may be crossing boundaries? Now, I'm not trying to say that you guys are crossing boundaries or trying to be, trying to be, trying to overstep, but there is something going on where there is a feeling of freedom and independence, and then all of a sudden feeling like you're stuck. Feeling like you're stuck. No, the devil could do things and has the illusion that he's doing it out of love, or people in the situation can believe that because they're doing something that necessarily doesn't make them happy, or they know is not very healthy for them, they will do this in the attempt or the belief that what they're doing is actually helping the person, when in actuality it's causing more harm not only to the person that they're trying to help, but it can also cause harm to the person that's trying to help. So it's not saying that you shouldn't help people here because Chiron is obviously coming up. It's not the case, but it's like, how are you helping people? Or how are you helping yourself? What relationship do you have with someone that actually is not showing to be very beneficial to you, or the outstanding growth of the relationship between you and another person? Now, this could indicate too that it may not even involve another person. The situation may be that this is about you. This is about how you help yourself. And you have a sense of independence. You are secure in yourself, the Nine of Pentacles, right, in the past. But now the devil is showing that there may be some small bits of escapism that may be expressed here. Or there's things that may be going on that don't push you towards what you truly want to do. They're just temporary satisfactions to what you actually are craving, what you're actually desiring. So where you were getting like momentary bursts of relief, it's distracting and it's keeping you from actually achieving solutions to what your actual issues or what you're trying to actually do. So if you have a goal in mind, or you have something that you're trying to make happen, there may be a level of there may be some sort of diverting path that ultimately gets you wound up in a circle instead of pushing you forward. So the Six of Wands is the heart of your reading, and I feel like you obviously want to be successful, you want to be proud of what you're doing, you want to have pride in what you're doing, and you want to feel like you're heading in the right path, in the right direction. Ultimately, you want to feel good about yourself and what you're doing. But the King of Swords is showing you, it's coming up here, and I kind of get this vibe that you're either surrounded by a Libra, Sagittarius, a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Aquarian energy is highly strong with the King of Swords. So you may be dealing with Aquarian that's calling you out, or you may be being your tough boss right now. You're calling yourself out, and you're being very hyper aware of what the inconsistencies in your life are showing you. But there's some sort of information that you know, because the King of Swords is all-knowing. You know something already that's keeping you from being successful, and it's not necessarily about it doesn't have to be a bad thing, and none of it is anyway. I don't believe in anything that's really bad anymore. But of course, the feeling that you're getting from it may not necessarily be very enjoyable. The situation is saying that you already know what's keeping you back from being successful. Whether that's fear, whether it's not really wanting to work, or maybe you're exhausted because of the Nine of Wands showing up here. There's something here that you know that you may not really want to actually look at. Some of you guys may be like, I know this is a problem. I know this is what's keeping me and what's holding me back. But right now, I'm enjoying where I'm at, and that's fine, right? I'm fine with where I am. Some of you all are not happy with where you are, but the situation is calling for you to be honest with yourself about where you truly are and what's really going on, so that way you can truly break through. Because you're almost at the 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, actually. If you look at it, the 9, it does lead to the 10, but where you lead is success and happiness and security and feeling really good about your surroundings, right? But the situation here is the King of Swords is very, 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 very conscientious of what's going on. He's never ever outside of a loop. And what he notices is that the truth is within him to be able to be that success, to be that success that he desires. You are the same way, Sagittarius. You know what makes you happy. You know what makes you successful. You know what can. But I feel like the King of Swords is like, it may require you or push you to be honest with yourself. It could also indicate too that it may suggest that there may need to be some sort of clarification of boundaries. Perhaps someone has overstepped their boundaries with you, or maybe they've said something to you that you may need to clarify and need to shape up of them. Because the King of Swords is someone that stands up for themselves no matter what. And I feel like the situation may be that that the only way that you go forward is by clarifying and expressing to somebody what they need to hear from you in regards to how they continue to treat you, how they to continue to appreciate you. Okay, so the King of Swords may be that. Overall, I feel like the message is severely about clarification and knowing the truth. Now, if this is somebody stepping on your boundaries, that may be that there's ways to success is stating your truth, stating your boundaries, and standing firm in your belief system. At the same time, it could be that maybe you want success with someone, but someone else is dictating some sort of boundaries, some sort of cutoff, or some sort of clarification. Somebody or someone around you may not be very clear. Someone could be clearer in the way that they could be moving forward in this relationship or successful partnership, whatever this is. They could be moving better and moving forward way easier if they just talked about it. But I don't know if someone is not talking about it. So we'll keep going forward. Now, in the past, you had the Five of Wands. You've gone through a lot of conflict, a lot of craziness in the past. But you've gone through this challenge, and you made this your bitch, but basically, you didn't just sit by and let this situation happen. You were very much involved, and you were overcoming the challenges. It was intense in the moment, and there was a lot going on, but you did seek through. You did move past it. You have overcome the challenge. But now the situation is presenting itself with the Nine of Wands. You're exhausted, you're tired, but you are in no way, shape, and form ready to give up on it yet. You're not ready to give up on it yet. But with you not ready to give up on something, the Page of Swords is. Sorry, the King of Swords is. The King of Swords is ready to cut whatever's not happening, whatever's not making him happy, whatever is standing in the way. But the Nine of Wands is like, but I just can't move. I don't want to move. And it's offensiveness in the sense of, standing by something you've worked so hard for. But I kind of get the vibe that in order to be successful, there may be something that either needs to be released or needs to be acknowledged. Interesting, right? Let's see, why is the Nine of Wands coming up in Sagittarius present? I feel like something, though, is suggesting being let go of. And I don't want to say this bad, in the sense like somebody needs to break up with anybody, because I don't think that's the case. If overall, something honestly needs to be released, because the crowning energy is coming up, the Fool and the Devil's coming up. And usually after the Devil, the Tower is the Tower, which is breaking free from the illusion, from the idea that everything's going to be fine, when in actuality it really isn't, and it's honestly just nursing a wound. It's not healing it. It's not ripping the bandage off. You just kind of putting more. It's like putting more bandages on an infected wound. You're gonna have to do something. So I feel like with the Devil coming up, there may be some sort of situation where you feel stuck in, or maybe the situation is like kind of containing a situation, and the method of treating the situation hasn't actually been very productive. It's been counterproductive because it's constantly putting you in this loop, a cycle of something not turning out very well. There's nothing wrong with escapism, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying your time with the Devil per se. And I say this in the sense of rhetoric, not in the sense of legitimacy or anything to do with Christianity of any sort. I don't have an actual religion I believe in. What I am saying, though, is that there's nothing wrong with having fun and doing things that you want to do. But in place of what you want to actually happen in your life, that's when it just becomes not productive or not necessarily a healthy focus. It's almost like, for instance, if something bad has happened, you go to grab a drink instead of figuring out a solution to resolving the issue. Right now, the idea is that the King of Swords is the problem solver. He is good at looking at a situation and coming up with solutions. Very similar to the King of Pentacles, but he's doing this in theory, and he's doing this logically. and with communication. And with the Devil energy, right? Let's say you had an argument with your partner. Would you decide to go and drink or detach from the situation and not actually find a solution to it? Or are you going to take the King of Swords approach and find a solution to solving your problems, or to cutting something out of the loop that is causing this dysfunction, right? For instance, the Devil is is mostly associated with codependency. So if you're in a situation where you're helping somebody and you're not getting something back, you perhaps need to stop giving them that help. Not only would it be better for your well-being, but the focus can be truly on you and where you need that help that you're giving someone else that's not being appreciated or reciprocated in a way that is showing some sort of progress. You get what I'm saying, guys? So you're exhausted perhaps because you may have been giving all of your attention to something that isn't actually getting you to the Ten of Pentacles where you'd like to be, if this is where you'd like to be. If you guys are trying to start a family, or if you guys are wanting to move on in a relationship, or you're trying to develop financial success, or you're trying to be more self-sustaining and grow in a direction where you could potentially lead on a legacy, there's not a lot of help in that area, because the Devil is saying, hey, there's a pattern or a situation in which you're caught up in that serves as something temporary, that serves a temporary relief, or something, some sort of temporary solution, but it ultimately will not get you to your goal. Look, we're giving you all the fun and all the play that you like, but this is not a place where it will ultimately get you to where you want to be. This card ultimately shows us our strengths, shows us where we're giving our power away to, and where we're not necessarily using our power to our advantage. Not saying that we're using it in bad ways, but we're not using it where we could benefit from it the most. We're using this to medicate and to numb a certain area usually, or to make ourselves feel better in the moment, but ultimately sets us back, or keeps us where we are, and eventually sets us back, because over time we may get lost in this, right? We may get lost in it, which is why the Tower comes in and blows us right out of it. So the situation here is that you're exhausted with your current situation. You're tired, but you're not ready to give up on a dream. But the situation is that you want to be proud of something, you want to be happy, you want to feel good about what you're doing, but you may end up having to cut something out of your life in order for that to happen. I'm not saying that you need to, but the situation, it may be suggesting that depending on your situation. It doesn't mean that you have to. It may be that you have to acknowledge that something isn't working and try to do something different, or to go in a different area. And if this is based off of comfort and familiarity, you may have to acknowledge that you're not necessarily comfortable going in a different direction, or starting fresh, or starting over. So let's see what you're exhausted with, though. Let's see if we can get any more details with the Nine of Wands with this. Oh yeah, Eight of Pentacles. This is to do with work. What are you working hard at? What are you investing your time and energy into? You're exhausted with it, and you're not ready to let it go, but you're not necessarily going anywhere either with this. Usually the Nine of Wands would suggest that, you're almost there, you're almost done, just keep pushing forward, just keep fighting on it, or keep fighting. But it also can bring us to our attention where we're standing by something that is taking a lot more energy out of us than it is giving back to us in a positive way. So just kind of keep in mind, where is the reciprocation in this? So let's see. Okay, you need more information. The Page of Swords, communication, relaying a message. Maybe at work you're exhausted and you're tired because there's something that needs to be said or needs to be communicated, and communicated clearly, or there needs to be more information. There needs to be more information or something like that. Because this would suggest that there's something that's not quite completely understood about it. There's the surface level understanding, but there is so much underneath the surface that needs to be understood that the surface level is not going to cut it. So there may be something that you may need to understand at work, or maybe there's something that you're working on that you at one point needed more information. Perhaps you needed more information. Now with the Nine of Wands, you probably don't need all that information. Perhaps you've already got the information, and yet you're still at a point where you're not exactly excited about something, but you're not ready to let go of it either. But I feel like that pattern of needing more, or that pattern of feeling exhausted in a situation that has already kind of been satiated, is an indicator of a bigger problem, or a bigger, something that requires a little bit more deeper looking into. But your future is showing tonight as the Ten of Pentacles. You have the potential to be successful and be great and be all these things, but there's something that's there's a setback here. There's a true setback. Did I look in here? Yeah, independence and feeling good about who you are, what you are, how much you have, like in all those areas. There's something here, like regarding your independence. There's something that makes it kind of feel like it's hard for you to get there, and I feel like it's perhaps either the information that you have, what you know, or maybe the expression that you have isn't enough of it. Maybe you need to express a little bit more, perhaps give more of yourself in the situation. But the Nine of Wands would suggest that you're tired already. So maybe the situation is saying that you've already done what you could do with what you know. And honestly, if it's still not getting you there, perhaps it just requires a little bit more patience. Sometimes that's the situation too. I'm actually going to pull for the King of Swords. Why is the King of Swords coming up for the crossing energy? Oh, you're not being honest. Is it being honest about what you want, what you desire? Because the Ace of Cups is about what you want. It's an emotion here, but it's the beginning. It's a romantic beginning usually, and this can indicate new love. It could be about new love, about your truth, about who you are. You're coming into your own and you're noticing yourself a lot more. It could be this is the King of Cups coming in with an offer of love, wanting to start something in a romantic way, or going down an emotional journey with you and expanding in a relationship. This could have to do with a karmic connection. Maybe you were single at one point, now you're the devil, and it feels like you're kind of stuck in a relationship, where you're in a relationship that doesn't feel very freeing. But the situation continues to lead back to, I'm not ready to give this up yet. You may be tired, you may be beat down, you may be exhausted, but you're not ready to give up yet. Or maybe you are exhausted and ready to give up, or you're contemplating or trying to figure out whether or not it's worth this effort. But you've come such a long way, you've come so far. Is this something that you're willing to truly willing to let go of? But, is it something you're truly willing to let go of, not just because you are tired, but because ultimately your desires might have changed. What you want may have changed. And now you have a new truth, a new heart's desire, and you have to be honest with yourself. Is it lining up with where you're going now, with what you're doing now? That's a hard one. And what's interesting is the advice is coming up as the Fool. Taking a new step in a different direction, coming at it from a completely clean slate. Now I want to know how we do this. The Sun. Whoa. So the situation is not like it's ambiguous or it's a mystery. You kind of already know how to go ahead and go about doing this. You know what your happiness looks like. But it's almost like you have to take a leap of faith and take a totally different jump. It's almost like the Tower. It's realizing where you are and taking the steps to make that happen. And it can be very risky, but it is something that may be worth doing because it ultimately will make you happy. Yeah, Nine of Cups. What is your new dream? What is your new wish? Because it's like whatever this is, it's like it's calling you to do something new. Like it's not like anything to do with pre-existing anything. Like it's almost like the pre-existing situation you've worked on enough to know that it doesn't match what you truly want, because you honestly do know what you want, but it's in conflict with what's going on here. It's like you've gotten so far and you still aren't happy, and therefore you're ready to change it, or you know your truth behind what you want to change, or at least you have a better idea of what you truly want to go for. But there's nothing truly binding you. The beauty of this card here, the Devil, is that there's no true binding. There's no true commitment here. Like, or you can be committed to it if you want to, but the Devil is saying that, hey, I'm here just to keep you having fun. If you don't want to have fun anymore, you are happy to leave. The chains are not around your neck tight enough for you to stay here. I don't want people around me that doesn't want to actually party. So pretty much the situation is this, is like, if you don't want to rock with this, you don't have to. You can get up and leave. You can say, no, I'm good. With the King of Swords, cut your chains off and get out of there. But it's up to you to either acknowledge that this is something new that's different, or to say that you're done with it. Because I feel like there's something that either you're done with, or there's something that you can't give any more energy to. Or there's something that you're willing to continue to fight for, and you just may need to continue to work on it. Continue to be consistent with it. If that's the case. But you already know what makes you happy. You already know the path in which you need to take. It's all about whether or not you take it now. And what that path looks like, how it looks like. Maybe it's not you cutting anything off anyway. Maybe it's you going in a totally different direction, trying a totally different approach, or totally different new strategy, and you're doing it with a brand new clean slate. Nothing from the past, nothing interfering. You're going in this open-minded, open-hearted, and ready to learn, and ready to experience. And that could be that too. There's so many different possibilities, but the future does show that there is success. And I feel like the success is based off of your consistency, and all you have to do is break the chain that's keeping you from being as consistent as you would like to be, or to get you to where you want to be. Whatever is blocking you, whatever is holding you back, it's honestly being true to yourself and being and doing what you need to do. And that could be what needs to be healed. Whatever this is attempting to heal whatever this struggle is. Whether this is true freedom, or being independent, or something that's revolved around your self-worth and value. Chiron, it wants to be truly healed, and the way to do it is by being honest with yourself and going down the path that you feel that you know is the right path for you.